What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is B Tatum. I'm back again. So I just wanted to make this video after watching a video on Vlad TV featuring Lil Boosie, who has historically been my favorite rapper. Audrey, what's up? How y'all doing? Lil Boosie has been historically my favorite rapper. I grew up listening to Lil Boosie, and I just watched the interview on Vlad TV, for those of you just now joining, that featured Lil Boosie, and he talked about issues of racism. And this is the funny thing. I just really think this is why I think that there's a huge shift that's going on in the black community. And I don't think it's a huge shift because there's actually like the mindset being completely changed. I think the reality is being revealed. That's pretty much what it is, man. Because for those of you who don't know, man, I grew up, I would say, knowing what I know now, I grew up conservative. Like, we went to church. My dad was very, very strong about God and what we did, and discipline, and not making excuses, and working hard. My dad was that way. My mom was also that way. You don't make excuses. You go out and get it. If you want it, you work for it. You hustle. I grew up like that. And most of my family lived that life. Like, you don't work, you don't eat. You ain't hustling, you ain't making no way in this country. And my mama and them never told me that the white man hated me. My mom and them never told me to make excuses for myself. They didn't. But the thing is that I grew up thinking that was the Democrats. I thought that the Democrats were the ones teaching those principles. And I never knew about the other side, so I assumed that they were against what we always grew up believing. And I honestly believe, as sure as I'm sitting here today, most of the people in the African American community as we know it were raised similar to me. And the enlightenment that we see, the support for the president going from 13% last year to now it's like 30-something%. It's not that somehow African American people are saying, like, I used to really think this way and now I'm thinking this way. It's kind of like I've always thought this way, but I didn't realize who I really was. I heard Lil Wayne say, Lil Wayne is a prominent rapper, grew up in, I think Lil Wayne is from New Orleans. Lil Wayne said in his whole life he'd never experienced racism. He had made a suggestion that white police officers saved his life. This is Lil Wayne. This is Hot Boy Lil Wayne. Carter 1, Carter 2. This is that Lil Wayne. Never experienced racism. Lil Boosie from Baton Rouge. I used to listen to Lil Boosie all the time. If y'all don't know who Lil Boosie is, Google him. Lil Boosie, Lil Webby. I used to listen to them religiously. They were like the only rappers that I liked. I just heard an interview where Lil Boosie pretty much said that he said he had interaction with police that he felt were racially motivated or racist. He didn't say the word racist. He said racial. And then he said, but as a whole, the people, this is what Lil Boosie said. The people, I've never had a problem with white people. I've never had no beef with white people. And see, this is what people see. Lil Boosie, Lil Wayne, Kevin Gates, the rappers like that are not afraid to tell the truth, man, and keep it 100. Lil Boosie said, he said, the white, I've never had a beef with white people. I never had a beef with a white dude. He said, the white boy is not laying in the bushes trying to kill me. The white boy isn't shooting up my car. You know what I'm saying? He said, I ain't never had beef. The white rappers aren't rapping against me. My own people are doing that to me. And I felt like, he hit the nail on the head. Like, these people who perpetuate this idea of racism, like, normal everyday people don't deal with racism. Maybe at most they deal with prejudice. at most. And that's probably just as rare. I don't understand, because people cannot be genuine. That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. People can't be genuine. That's why we can never get to the bottom of anything. That's why these race hustlers can continue to perpetuate this mysterious racism, because you can never get to the bottom of the boogeyman. You can talk about the boogeyman. There's no evidence. There's no tangible, unequivocal evidence that there's a boogeyman. So how can you defeat the boogeyman that you can't prove that exists unequivocally? I'm not saying that people don't report being scared or whatever. Yeah. I'm saying unequivocally prove that there's a boogeyman. I need you to unequivocally prove that there's some type of discrimination in America that will prevent people from succeeding if they work hard. And it's funny, because everybody that come on my Instagram, everybody that come on my YouTube, Facebook, they come on to challenge me. They never can give me an example of them experiencing prejudice or them experiencing racism that has prevented them from doing anything. They got jobs, education, they've been to college, all of the above. But they're going to say, well, it's not me, it's that person. That's what happens. It's not me, it's that person. It's that person. That person is going through oppression. Then you go talk to that person, they say, no, the people back there are going through oppression. Oh, the numbers say that these people are... Nobody have this boogeyman is just hearsay. It's just hearsay as far as I'm concerned. Because nobody can show me any proof, whether it be legislation, whether it be the Constitution. Nobody can show me proof that African Americans are somehow disenfranchised beyond the disenfranchisement that we impose upon ourselves. Like Boosie said, the white man isn't hiding in the bushes trying to kill me. The white man didn't shoot 70 people in Chicago. And I'm just saying Chicago because it's easy to talk about Chicago because the numbers are just astronomical. Chicago is not even like the top 5 murder capitals of the country when you look at murder per capita. They're not even in the top murders in the country. You talking about places like Baltimore, places like St. Louis. Like, these are the murder capitals of the country where people are dying higher rate per capita than in Chicago. And Chicago is a war zone. So the boogeyman theology is something that I think that African American people in this country are waking up to. It's like, all right, I'm tired of saying the same old rhetoric. It's not getting us anywhere. Like, let's start really addressing these issues. Like, growing up in my life, I grew up in and around the hood my whole life. And the reason I say in and around the hood, because there were times when we lived in the hood, and there was times when we didn't live in the hood, but all my family lived in the hood. So we were always, when we visit them, we back in the hood dealing with the whole scenario over again. And I feel like it benefited by building character. So regardless of that, I don't ever remember ever being around my cousin and them doing whatever we used to do, you know, smoking weed and doing all this other stuff. I don't remember us ever worrying about white people. I never used to walk down the street and be like, oh man, you got to watch out for the white people. You got to watch out for the white man. They're going to come get you. It's always been like, you got to watch out for Latrell and them. Because they may perceive you to be a blood. You better not wear all that red. See, when I was growing up, that was the conversation that your parents had with you. Hey, you can't go over there and you shouldn't wear that much red. Like, you got too much red on. Because if you go over there, somebody going to mistake you for a gang member. My parents didn't have no conversation with me about when the police pull you over, this is what happens. Police brutality, this is what happens. No. My parents tell me you can't go after dark because of people, not because of the police. And anybody that live in the hood, anybody that live in a impoverished area, if they would be honest with themselves and honest to America. That's why these people will not argue with me on live television, because they can fool white people that don't live in these communities and make you think the police is just riding around and harassing black people all day. It's like, no, no, no. Black people are harassing black people all day. You better hope to God that you ain't wearing the wrong colors. You better hope to God you ain't on the wrong side of town. You better hope to God that your people ain't beefing with somebody else. All of the shootings that I heard of growing up were black on black. I'm telling you, it like the white man, the boogeyman. I know dudes that used to sell dope. And I can mention people who are already doing life in prison. So, because they ain't getting out. I'm not going to hurt their case or help their case. But I knew people selling drugs. I witnessed it. I saw it. I've seen people cook dope. None of those people, the white man didn't have their hand in the thing cooking up dope. They wasn't setting the temperature on the oven cooking up keys of cocaine. Or the burners. They weren't in the kitchen cutting up and breaking up that weed, separating the sticks and the stems and bagging them and selling them. The white man wasn't doing that. And I know somebody, when I was in high school, that had a stolen gun and sold a stolen gun to somebody else. There wasn't a white man involved in that. It was a black man selling a stolen gun to another black man. When I was in school, I remember, and anybody that went to Dunbar High School in 05, between 03 to 05, tell me if I'm lying. My senior year, I got kicked out of school because I got into it with a teacher, and I called her names, and I was gonna fight her. That's who I used to be back in the day. So I got kicked out of school. I also got suspended one time because my girlfriend got into a fight with a dude. She called me crying, saying that he beat her up. And so I had to go and serve old boy. But come to find out, she actually won. And then he was in the office, and I tried to fight him in the office, and they suspended me. While I was suspended. Now, the white people have nothing to do with any of this. There wasn't a white boy fighting my girlfriend, and the dude that I was going to fight was a black dude. So they suspended me. They told me that they had 13 fights. 13 fights in the school in those 2.5 days I was suspended. 13 fights. I came back to all black people. I came back to school. The school had pepper spray in it. You could still smell that pepper spray in the air because that's how they used to disperse fights in the school. They'll spray pepper spray. All black people. I will never forget this. My friend, B.A., his brother had just got out of prison. And there was another guy's brother. They were going through the parking lot. And one dude is flashing money out the window, flashing money as he's going through the parking lot at our little bitty gravel parking lot at Dunbar. These two thugs almost hit cars. So it's on now. B.A. brother, go to the trunk, pull out a rifle. I don't know what it was. That gun looked like it was this big. He pulled out this big old gun on the other guy in the parking lot as we're getting out of school. There's hundreds of kids out there. They pull guns on each other. We have a police officer that's at the school. We have a black police officer that's at the school. They pull guns on each other in the parking lot. Then they chase each other out of the parking lot, and the cop chased them. In that scenario I just gave you, there was not one single white person involved in that. Two black people pulling guns on each other, chased by one black police officer. And that's just like the community I grew up in. The black people were selling drugs to the other black people. I remember we had a car wash right there on Ramey. So anybody know about Stop 6? Right there on Ramey, up the street from Dunbar, they had a car wash. Crackheads wash your car for whatever amount of money you give. I mean, you give them $5, you get a basic wash. You give them $10, you get the full detail. I don't know how they were rigging that thing to get the water to come out of it, but they had taken over a private, like a public car wash. Crackheads. The dope boys used to be there too. And when there's a lot of them there, regular people like myself were too afraid to go up there because you don't know what's going to happen up there. But anyway, one day I let the people wash my car. I go around the back, and the dude is smoking crack on the corner. Smoking crack. It broke my heart. That's the first time I ever seen somebody smoke crack. And I said, I'm never going to that car wash again because although you give them money to wash your car, they using it to smoke crack. And I knew it, but I never seen it. And lo and behold, he's back there bubbling that crack. And he is somebody's daddy. The black man sold the crack to the other black man. White people weren't involved in none of that. You know, I know people that got multiple baby daddies and none of them take care of the kids. And they stuck with, and now I don't know what the situation is. I don't know if the baby daddy even know it's their daddy. I mean, even know it's their kids. But regardless, you got a black woman with black kids. Dunbar in Fort Worth. Yeah, Frank. Dunbar in Fort Worth. Paulins Dunbar. You got a black woman with black kids abandoned by black daddies. White people are like not involved in that. I just wish we could keep it 100. But I didn't say it enough. I gotta go. I gotta do an interview live on the radio. So I love you guys. I'll see you later. I gotta bounce.